Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to create this nice looking login form using HTML and CSS. So this is what we're gonna be doing, but before we get started, if you are new to this channel, on this channel I post new videos every single day that will help you become a better web developer so that you can earn more money and live a better life. If that is something that you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also make sure to hit the bell notification icon so that you won't miss any of the new videos that I upload. With that being said, let's get started. I have an empty folder here on my desktop and I opened it with my text editor, which in my case it's brackets. I'm going to create the index.html file, the style.css, and a folder that I'm gonna call img for the image, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab this image and paste it in the img folder. By the way, I'm gonna put a link to the image in the top comment of the video, so make sure to grab that and code along with me. Now I'm gonna go to the index.html, give the basic structure, change the title to login page, also link my style.css. Also, if I don't forget, I'm gonna zoom in for the mobile phone users after I finish the code. I'm gonna create a div with a class of content, and inside this div another one. I'm gonna give it a class of header, and in here I'm gonna put an h3 element and I'm gonna say login. Now below the div with the class of header, inside the div with the class of content, I'm gonna put a form. We don't need an action. And in here I'm gonna put a div with a class of form group, so form group, and inside I'm gonna put a label for username, and below the label I'm gonna put an input field with a type of text, and I'm gonna copy this once and actually twice, one more time. I'm gonna change the label for password, and also the input type to password. And for the third form group, I'm actually gonna delete this and put an input field with a type of submit and a value of login, and below this I'm gonna put a link with, and I'm gonna say forgot password question mark. This is it for the markup. So as I said, I'm gonna zoom in for mobile phone users. So I have hopefully you can see it now. So I have a div with a class of content. Inside here I placed another div with a class of header, and in here an h3 element with a login. And below the div with a class of header I placed a form element, and inside here I have three form groups. In the first one a label for the username and an input field with a type of text. For the second one, label for the password and an input field with a type of password. And for the third form group, an input field with an input with a type of submit, and an a element, a link for the forgot password. So I'm gonna zoom back out for now, and let's open the file in the browser. So this is it right here. Okay, now let's go to the style.css and make this prettier. I'm gonna create some space first, and I'm gonna start by selecting everything with the asterisk, and also I'm gonna use asterisk column before and after. I'm gonna say margin 0, padding 0, and I'm gonna set the box sizing property to border box. Okay, now I'm gonna select the body and I'm gonna say font family Arial sans serif, and the background of a light gray, so EC. Let's take a look. Okay, this is it. Now I'm gonna select the div with the class of content, and I'm gonna give it a position of absolute. I want to center it now. Top 50%, left 50%, and transform, translate, minus 50%, minus 50%. A background of white, SOFFF, a height of 600 pixels, a width of 750 pixels, and a border radius of 10 pixels. Let's see what it looks like. So this is it. Now I'm gonna go back to the text editor. I'm gonna select the div with the class of header, so header, and inside of here I'm gonna give the color of white, text transform uppercase, a font size of 30 pixels, padding 75 pixels on top and bottom, 60 pixels left and right. Now I'm gonna set the background, I'm gonna say URL, and I'm gonna select the image, and I'm gonna give a few properties. So background repeat, no repeat, background size cover, background position center. Okay, so this is it. And now I wanna darken this a little bit, so I'm gonna give it a linear gradient. So I'm gonna say linear gradient, RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.2. I'm gonna copy this, put a comma, and paste it, and that should do it. As you can see, now it's darker. As you can see, these bottom corners are rounded. I don't know if you can see it right here, but the top ones are still sharp. So I'm gonna say border top left radius 10 pixels. I'm gonna copy this and change top left to top right, and that should do it. And I'm also gonna say text align center, and that should be fine. Okay, there you have it. And now I'm gonna select the form. So padding top 20 pixels, color 555, this gray. Okay, now I'm gonna select the div with the class of form group. So form group, form dash group. Margin, I'm gonna give it 50 pixels on top and bottom and 0 left and right. A width of 80%, excuse me, and a margin left of 10%, and that will center it. Okay. Now I'm gonna select the label element. So label. I'm gonna say margin right 25 pixels and a font size of 18 pixels. Let's take a look. There you go. Now let's deal with these input fields. So I'm gonna say input, and between inside square brackets I'm gonna say type equals single quotes text, and I'm also gonna say input type password, and I'm gonna say width 80%, font size 18 pixels, border none, border bottom 1 pixel solid 555, padding bottom 5 pixels, padding left 7 pixels, and outline none. Okay, this looks fine. Now I want to move on to this submit button, and to do that I'm gonna go back to the text editor and say input type equals submit, and I'm gonna say border none, padding 20 pixels top and bottom, 40 pixels left and right, a width of 65%, a background of FFAD5A, color white, so FFF, font size make it 20 pixels, border radius 5 pixels, margin right 40 pixels, change the cursor to pointer, and the transition 0.5 seconds, and let's also make the hover state, so input type equals submit column hover, and we're gonna darken the background a little bit, so background I'm gonna say F0A255, and as you can see it looks as it should look, really nice. And we also need to style the forgot password, and I'm gonna say A since it's the only link, text decoration none to remove the underline, color of 555, and transition of 0.5 seconds, and I'm gonna say a hover color, and use our primary color, so FFAD5A. And I'm also gonna select the form group. First, let's see what it looks like. Okay, but I want to move this down a little bit, so I'm gonna say form group column, use the pseudo selector last child. I'm gonna say margin top 70 pixels, and I'm gonna zoom in now for those of you on mobile phones. So this should do it. So as you can see, I'm gonna scroll down slowly so that you can get you can pause and take a look at the code. But that should do it for now. I'm gonna take a look at in the browser in a moment, but everything should be fine. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button, leave a comment below, and also make sure to share this video, as this will help me out a lot. Okay, so this is it. This is the input button, the submit, I mean. And let's take a look in the browser. As you can see, everything works out as it should. And that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.